Hey, good afternoon, everyone. And this is Lydia Lupinto. I'm the author of the books I'm presenting in this series of videos. And as you know, my goal is to create books that are easy to understand by children, but that deliver important messages environmentally, or in this case, with the worry monster, as far as mental health. Now, we all know that anxiety is a serious issue for adults and children. As a former sufferer of anxiety, I know that it's not something that is easy to get rid of, and it takes work. But as adults, you can have the discipline to do it, but children can't, so they don't understand what's happening. So the Worry Monster is a very popular toy out there. I think there are other Worry Monster books, but this is a special story that I've developed. This is all illustrated by myself, and the story is by myself. Um, so let's get to it. Let me explain what the book is about. This is has been popular in the U.S., UK, and Australia because apparently we all share the same issue that our children have anxiety, and it's a difficult issue to deal with as a parent. Let me show you what it looks like on the internet. You would look for the Worry Monster Lopinto, which is me, the name me, because this way you'll identify it. And it's a story about childhood anxiety, and you'll see this little thing. It's $12 to print. I also happen to have a Kindle version of it, and let me see if I can show you the Kindle. That's the Kindle version of it. Okay. Um, the Kindle version also has the same images, but I would recommend that if you're going to read this to your child, that it be on a paper because we do want to limit screen time with children with anxiety. And so the way I've developed this book, it's easier to read because you can read it with your child, and it's not doesn't have a lot of text to bore them, but it has a lot of nice pictures they can look at. Okay, so let me go back to the previous screen, and this is the Worry Monster, and I have it here as a PowerPoint presentation. I'm going to just give you a preview of what it looks like. This is Joey, um, and this is the Worry Monster. You can see just from the pictures alone what is happening here. We do have some text in the book, and it comes like this. All my books have this format, by the way. The format is that there is a relevant uh, border here to keep kids entertained. And then there's some text in a size 16 font so they can easily read it, and you can read it while sitting next to the child. So on the left hand side, they would be looking at the picture. On the right hand side, you're going to be looking at the text and reading it to them. Or they might be old enough to read it themselves. But this border is relevant to the story, and it appears in all my books. It's a new format that I've developed, and I use some fun children's books fonts as well. So let me show you the next one. I'm going to go through some of the pictures. He's afraid of something coming up. I think in this case is camp. Um, and the Worry Monster is there telling him all the things that are going to go wrong. Okay, and he's more and more scared. So this is the story of what's happening. I'm not reading it to you. I'm just going to show you the format. And then the mom has to come and kind of make him feel better because he's worried about camp. But the worry monster's still there. Okay, you can see that he's still there. This is what the mom tells him. Okay, and it just kind of shows that sometimes comforting words may not be enough, that you may have to use other techniques to address the fear that is happening. And here's the Worry Monster behind the school bus. Okay. Here's more information about what he's going through. He's in the school bus, and look, he's there and behind him to tell him what's going to go wrong. So this kid's scared of what's going to happen when he gets to the camp. Okay. Now when he gets to the camp, what happens is the sun is shining, the worry monster's there, but all of a sudden he feels better because the sun is shining, the kids are playing. It seems like a positive environment. So the worry monster is shrinking. Okay. And let's see if we can do this. And there's more about it. This is what the parent would be reading. Okay. And then he meets a little boy, and he's very happy that it's Camp Worry Wart, and these are the kids that worry about everything. And the little kid invites him to play, and of course now things are much better. They roast marshmallows, and they're happy, and the worry monster's nowhere to be found. Except he goes home. He's so happy that he's roasted marshmallows and everything. Again, the worry monster seems to be gone, but the father knows the worry monster is going to come back, so he gives him a toy called Positron. Positron is a positive toy, and it's the power to get rid of the worry monster. He can fight the worry monster. So I didn't make it so you'd have to buy my toy, which I could make, but any toy would be good. Any kind of superhero or toy that you may already have in the house. You could take an old doll and put a cape on it. It doesn't matter. It's just a symbol of you having the power to get rid of the worry monster. Okay. So here is more information about what the father tells him. And he plays with the toy, and the worry monster's there, but little by little he's paying attention to the toy, and the worry monster is no longer around. He can't really tell him anything. Okay. So it goes to the power of this object as a way to concentrate and not think about the worries. And the more he plays with the toy, he talks to his positron friend, poof, this signifies that the worry monster has disappeared. Okay. Again, I'm not reading it. Now it's time to go to school. After camp, he goes to school, and the worry monster's back. He's there to tell him everything's going to go wrong in school. He's worried about what's going to happen in school. Okay. But finally, at one point, he's carrying his little positron in his backpack, but finally the worry monster comes the next day, and he's tired of this. He takes him out of the backpack, and somehow positron gets bigger and bigger and scares the worry monster away. Goes to show that. Then he goes to bed with his positron doll, and things are getting better, and that's the end. Okay, the end of the story. So I just told you the story. So let me explain to you what you will see when you go to Amazon to see this story. Okay. The Worry Monster is a heartwarming, empowering children's book that helps young readers confront and overcome their fears. Perfect for ages 4 to 8, this beautifully illustrated story follows Joey, a little boy who loves to play and explore but struggles with anxiety when facing new situations. Every time Joey feels nervous, the sneaky worry monster shows up, whispering doubts and fears into his ear. But this, with the help of the positron, his doll, trusty superhero doll with a golden cape, Joey learns that he has the power to send the worry monster away. As Joey navigates new experiences like going to camp and starting school, he discovers that bravery isn't about never being scared, it's about learning to face your fears, no matter how big they seem. So that's the book. And let me tell you about uh, another book that I'm going to show you. And I do have a girl's version of it, which I don't have the copy yet. I'm still worrying for it to. Here it is. Okay, so let me switch to this screen. And okay, so let me add the scene. Okay. Somehow I'm not able to show you that screen. Okay, so the other book is called Lily Faces the Worry Monster, and it's a similar story, which I will put in the comments because I apparently can't get it on the screen here. But that is the girl's version of the Worry Monster, because this one's a little boy, although this one could be with any child. But I do have a girl's version, and it's about going to the dentist and other things that kids might be worried about. So that's Lily Faces the Worry Monster, and I will put this on the bottom so you can see. I also have a Spanish version of the Worry Monster, of Lily's Worry Monster, and I'm developing other books about the Worry Monster and maybe some other monsters. One of the things I'm working on, which you parents might really be appreciative of, is the Tablet Monster. The Tablet Monster, I'll give you a little preview, is a monster that has the shape of a tablet, like an iPad or a Kindle or something like that. And the kid gets trapped into it and becomes a zombie. Okay. And which my grandchildren have become zombies with it. It's happened, actually. I've seen it happen. And how it traps him into this world of the tablet, and he can't get out. So I'm working on this, and hopefully it'll be a book that will show children how you can become addicted to media like a tablet or games or something else, and how much of your life you miss by spending all your time on that. This is why I have stopped making my books on Kindle. First of all, they don't sell as well with the images because they tend to take a long time to load. And number two is, what we want to do is have a small book that they can keep on the counter. It's usually 30 pages. It's pretty large, that you can spend time, maybe 5 minutes, 10 minutes reading to them. And it's a lesson, but it's also fun. And it's something they can read over and over. And it's always a lesson involved. All my books have a lesson, which I will go through some of the others. But the Worry Monster has been selling well because people seem to have this problem all over the world with the kids being depressed. Could it be the screen time? I don't know. But the kids are depressed and anxious, and they're looking for answers. And I'm giving them some answers here. I'm going to present Lily versus the Worry Monster as soon as I get copies from Amazon. And I do keep about 10 copies of the Worry Monster. Here it is. It's backwards. Okay. All right. I do keep 10 copies of the Worry Monster in my office, and they will be signed. And they're available worldwide through Amazon. Remember, wherever you are in the world, you can order it from Amazon. They print it in that country and send it to you, usually for a very low shipping price, sometimes no price, no expense, depending if you're a Prime or something like that. So these are the kinds of books that you can share with other families if you want. You can read over and over, pass down to other siblings. They have an explanation, and you can make a collection. I'm going to start making bundles that I will sell on my website. But unfortunately, my website, I can only ship in the USA. I don't ship to Spain, Australia, and those places because it's prohibitive to send to those places. But that's why I chose Amazon as my platform, because they make it easy to provide these books worldwide, and they're doing quite well. So let me open the pages here so you can see how nicely they print. Look at the print. It's backwards because of the camera, but look at those nice images. And they're engaging. I think some of these images are quite engaging, okay, for the children. I think they're going to love it. I think apparently a lot of people like it online. They're buying them because this is the description. Well, if you're a business owner and you want to carry some of my books online, I do offer a 30% discount of retail price. So, and you can order like a dozen or something and keep it in your store, and you might be able to make a little money selling my books in your little gift store, because this is also a great gift alongside with different types of cards you can give people. These little books, they're not thick, they're not hard, they're easy to read, they have a large font. You can see the fonts are big and they're colorful, and it would make a nice little gift for someone. And I have about 15 different books. If you search for Lopinto on Amazon, you're going to find all my books. I have quite a few children's books. I've presented some of the books about my book Licorice, who you hear in the background barking because she wants her mommy. She is very upset that I'm in here doing this video and not paying attention to her. And you're going to find that I also have some other books on anxiety. I just came out with a new book that I'll present tomorrow. It's about kindness and how you can be kind to people. And I have several on environmental messages. So my collection is increasing, and I come out with at least one book a month of these types. And they're 30 pages, usually about 30 pages. I also have some coloring books that are coming out too. I'm going to do a Worry Monster coloring book, and I have a donkey coloring book as well, which I'm working on. So I'll have some coloring books to go along with your books, so that if children see these images, they can try to color them in, and that might help in remembering some of the messages. The coloring books don't have any text, so it's good for Spanish, or you can basically fill in the text or tell them the stories. They go together with this book, so some of the images might be similar, some might be different. And like I said, they're about $12, which a lot of the hardcover coloring books are, picture books are quite expensive unless you go to, Walmart and pick up the ones made in China. But these are unique stories, unique books. You're going to pay a little more for these books than you would otherwise. I do sell them at craft shows. I'm coming up with a craft show in 2 weeks. I will announce it on my Facebook. And I'm sorry for Licorice being such a pain. And all these books will be on display. And at the craft show, if you come, it's $8. They're usually 12 or 14, depending on the number of pages. But they're going to be $8 at the craft show. So it's well worth your time to come and pick up a few for Christmas, because these make great Christmas gifts. Together with a card or maybe a gift card, you can give this to the child. And the greatest gift you give to a child when you give them a book is not the book. They're not going to look at the book. It's you sitting down with them to read them that book. You see, you're going to sit down and read the book with them. So they're going to be looking at this page, and you're going to read this page, okay? And you're going to give them an opportunity to try to read that page. And then you're going to discuss what the book is saying. And it's very simple concepts for younger children. So it's not difficult to understand. So the gift is not the book. The gift is your time in reading that book. And 30 pages of a book like this might take 5-10 minutes. It doesn't take that long, but it's really a memory that will last a lifetime. They will never forget you reading this book to them. Okay, whether you're a relative or not, they are going to enjoy reading the book to them. I remember reading a children's book to a girl that of a friend of mine, and we sat down and we read a book, and I think it was the one about the broom, uh, a room on the broom, I think it was called. And she loved it. She always remembered that I read her the book. I didn't just hand her the book. I read her the book, and she loved it. And she wasn't my relative, but we did it with my granddaughter together, and we all sat down and we discussed it, we acted it out, all these things. So when you read these books, it's not just reading the book. It's not giving them a book. You don't hand a child a book like this and expect anything. You have to read it. You have to participate. Okay. So thank you very much, everybody. And as I have been doing almost every day, I do a different book. I have so many now that I can do a whole week's. I have 15 books, so it takes 2 weeks to go through all the books. And I started my book journey about 10 years ago, maybe 12, with the book about the Christmas tree. And that's still around and it's still being sold during Christmas. I plan to do another version of it with different images, maybe a little different story of the Christmas tree. Uh, but I've been busy on these environmentally minded books, nature books, and now the anxiety books, because this helps, because the next book talks about breathing exercises. Other books are going to talk about other tools that we can have to conquer anxiety and depression. And we're going to talk about the iPad and why it's becoming it's it's turning you into a zombie. Okay, I know it turns me into a zombie if I let it. You know, it's a very addictive thing, the iPad for the kids, and it's something that the parents are having such a difficult time. You see video after video of children reacting incredibly violently when you take it away. That's because they are addicted. In an addiction, this is the reaction is to react violently when somebody takes away that addiction. My granddaughter gets very angry if you take it away, but she's learned that grandma does not fool around. Grandma never gives a warning. Grandma does not tell her that if she doesn't do this, she's not going to get the iPad. Oh, no, not with grandma. Grandma will walk out of the blue and just take it away and put it in a place that God knows I don't even remember where it is. And I tell her, Grandma's memory is not as good, so I'll never remember where I put it. And she believes me, of course. And sometimes I do forget where I put it. Uh, and I take it away completely. And I just sneak up behind her and I pull it out of her hand. And she goes, "What are you doing?" I said, "I don't think we have time to watch this iPad anymore. We're going outside." And that's it. There's there's no arguments with grandma. There's no nothing. There's no crying with grandma. Grandma doesn't care. There's no warnings and there's no threats. If you don't do it this way, and I told my daughter, if you don't do it this way, it's never going to work. If you threaten them, no. You just pull up behind it, take it away, hide it, and it'll never appear again. And that's it. And after 2-3 days, they completely forget that it exists. They may be trying to get the phone and trying to get to a television, but slowly, if you see they're addicted, you pretty much start turning those things off. Pretty soon your house will not have any screens that they can watch, any internet that they can access, nothing. And I guess just like we all did when we were younger, they'll have to figure out what else to do. So we start with crafts, we start with sewing, we start with playing outside, we we play with toys, we do a lot of things. And they realize that grandma lets them make a mess in the house if they want to by playing. As long as they're playing, I don't care what they do. And my dogs are going nuts, so I'm going to end this stream right now.